welcome to Seymour's special Halloween edition. Now, here he is, that master of the macabre, the epitome of evil, the most sinister band to crawl on the face of the earth.
Your host, Seymour.
Hello, Fringies! Suffice to say that we've made it to our favorite time of year. Happy Halloween, Fringies. Of course, as we all know, Halloween's going to be a little different this year. Some of you might pass out candy as usual. However, some of you might stay home and play it safe. Maybe snuggle up, watch a good few movies or so. Last episode, I wanted to show you some of my... well... gosh darn kids. Interrupting my show. What? Get out of here, you rotten kids! Darn brats. Where was I? Oh yeah! Last episode, I want to show you some of my favorite movies for you to watch this Halloween season. I'm sure some of you already, quite reluctantly may add, have already seen some of these bombs. And Fringies, let me tell you, the backlash I faced was terrible. The letters keep rolling in, Fringies. For instance, I got this letter from Sandra O'Hara from Southern California that says, "Dear Seymour, I am absolutely disgusted and appalled that I've wasted nearly 2 hours of my life sitting through this terrible movie you recommended on your show. Both the film and your own show are a complete waste of time. I speak to you with the highest disdain. Sincerely yours, Sandra." Well, Fringies, if these movies I showed you wasted your time, that's on you. I told you exactly how bad these B-movies were. And you watched them, that's your fault. I'm just the guy who shows you about these awful, awful movies. It's kind of my thing. You know, I have a lot of respect for these directors. There's a lot that goes into it. I've thought about being a director myself. I'd love to do that. Just sitting in a chair, telling people what to do. You know, it's the directing part that I find hard. How about making a movie once myself, actually? Be about this mysterious slime that starts appearing in LA. It would rise from the sewers, creeping up walls, stuff like that. As our heroes try to find the source, turns out it's coming from the slimy wall. As the movie ends, you see our heroes give out a loud shriek. There's a burst of magic. And then you just see a trail of slime where the people used to be. I even made a post for it. The Curse of a Slimy Wall. Laugh all you want. There's a lot that goes into this. It's really hard. I worked hard on that. Of course, I gave up after the poster. I quickly realized I had no idea what the hell I was doing. It's really hard to make a movie. There's a lot that goes into it. Which is why we should appreciate the people who make them. Like my next guest. What now? Oh my goodness. What do you want? Here's your pizza. The pizza. Thank you. Thank you. The pizza, Fringies. I forgot all about the pizza. You see, with tonight being Halloween and all, I decided to skip the treats and play a little trick myself. See, back at that old slimy wall, there were these partygoers on the other side, and they were just so darn noisy. I thought I was in the clear, but no sir, I was fooled. About 3 weeks ago, these rowdy college students, these hooligans, moved into the place next door. And you know what they're doing tonight? They're having a Halloween party without me, Fringies. Without me! Seymour! The epitome of evil! The master of the macabre! You get the idea. You see, I'm trying to make my way over there to see if they would let me into their party. You know what they did? They laughed, Fringies. They laughed, and that is where they are wrong! You see, little do they know, I have a little trick up my sleeve. Which is why I ordered this pizza. I'm going to get my way into that party one way or another. I'm going to do it in the clever guise of the pizza guy. So if you'll excuse me, Fringies, I have to go get changed. Alright, Fringies, here we go.
Hello?
Hello, I'm here with the pizza you ordered.
Well, that's funny. I don't think anyone here ordered a pizza.
Well, someone must have.
We don't want it, man. I mean, I don't have the money.
Can I always come in?
I don't even know you. Hey! I mean, get out of here.
Well, Fringies, keeping up with the holiday spirit, I thought I would do something festive, which is why over here I've got this pumpkin. Today, Fringies, I'm going to teach you how to carve your very own jack-o'-lantern as a fun way to celebrate this Halloween. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that I've spread this newspaper all over. Well, Fringies, I may be creepy, but I'm no monster. I don't live in squalor like you dummies. It's best to reduce the mess, which is what this will theoretically do. Easy and effective cleaning. Now, Fringies, it's time to bring out our carving tool. I prefer something like this little carving knife myself. Now first we're going to begin with carving out the top and inside as seen here. Now we're just gonna well, we'll skip that part for now. Let's just focus on the face. Now I like to carve my eyes like darn thing. Where'd you get this? You sure this isn't a prop knife? Ugh. The hell with it. Ugh.
Well, Fringies, we tried our best. That's what matters. So while I clean up this mess, enjoy your treats. Because coming up next, we have a very special guest, Matthew Vinaja, the man who's behind some of the most gruesome of B movies. You won't want to miss it, so stay tuned. Well, Fringies, the time has come for our special guest. He has directed many short films and has won just as many awards. His scary slashers are sure to knock your socks off. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Vinaja. Matthew Vinaja. Matthew Vinaja. Vinaja. Matthew Vinaja. That was Matthew. That was him. That's it. You can go home. I'm just kidding. Here he is. Here's Matthew Vinaja. Hello, Matthew. Happy Halloween.
Seymour, thank you so much for having me on this Halloween special. I super appreciate it. You could have had anyone in the world, but you had me for some reason. I don't know why, but thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
How are you doing this evening?
Hey man, no, I'm doing good. You know, there's not too much going on this year, so I'm kind of just keeping it low key. Gonna watch Halloween Town, which is a yearly tradition for me. Every year on Halloween, I make sure I watch Halloween Town. Probably have some pumpkin pie, have some candy, maybe crack open a beer or something, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, different Halloween than usual, but Halloween's never canceled, right?
That's wonderful. So tell us, What is it that got you interested in going into the movie business in the first place?
So what got me interested in the film industry, growing up, I was always a big horror fan, and I never really thought about it as a career until I watched Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, and it just blew me away. The colors, the characters, just everything. It was like a homage to everything that I ever loved about horror. Like it had the bright colors, the neon lights, the rock and roll, the metal, the characters. But it was also very, and I love that it was shot on the Universal backlot, because that's where all my favorite films were always made. And so it was really cool seeing it. And when I walked out of the movie theaters, I thought, that's what I want to do. So a couple of years later, I actually took a class at my high school. And I started to shoot films. I shot a bunch of short films for that class. And when I left that class, I'm like, yep, this is it. This is what I want to do. I made a 30-minute short called Horror at House 318. I had all my friends and family in it. It was fun. Did a zombie film and a couple other little things. And after I left high school, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do, and got to head to LA. And that's kind of where it all started.
Wow. Do you have any heroes that you look up to? Or what films inspire you the most?
Well, like I said, my heroes, my favorite film that inspired me to make movies is Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. So Rob is definitely my biggest hero in the aspect of who inspired me to make films. But, I always say the greatest film ever made was Psycho. So always, looked up to Alfred Hitchcock a lot. And Vincent Price has always been huge. Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, all the original monster movies have always been my favorites.
Tell us about some of your previous shorts and what's going on with your newest full-length film.
Well, currently, I have a short film called Vera that's in the film festival circuit. We just did a virtual screening for the Dickens Horror Film Festival in Longmont, Colorado. We got one coming up at the Sin City Horror Film Festival in Vegas. We're going to be in Toronto. We got a few other ones popping up, so I'm really excited about that. Vera is a very it's my little short film homage to Psycho. It's black and white. I super studied Alfred Hitchcock and his directing and the cinematography and the music, and I applied all that to Vera. So it's a short that really means a lot to me. And I'm also currently in production for my very first feature film, Appetite for Sin. It's a really cool grindhouse 80s themed vampire movie. We got some really cool talent attached to it, like Robert Ukes from House of a Thousand Corpses. We got Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist, Ari Lehman from Friday the 13th, Sean Whalen, and a bunch of really, really great indie horror talent that I'm really excited to work with. And so we shot the first scene back in summer of 2019, and we edited the clip and colored it and composed it, and we put it out to show the world, and we got a really great reaction. So we were supposed to start production March of 2020 of this year. And of course, we got canceled. We got to shut down, but we figured out a way to safely go and shoot it again. So we are filming mid-November. We found a way to safely do it, and all local crew, all local talent, and we're shooting the first half of the movie, and then we hope to finish it out early next year, probably March or April. We're looking at, just because the nature of the film, it's a vampire film, right? So you have we're gonna have a lot of special effects, a lot of blood, people being in close contact. So we kind of thought, let's put a pin on that for right now, just because we're trying to figure out everything and safety precautions. So we decided just to hold off on that for a little bit and shoot all the things that we can now with very, very minimal cast and very, very minimal crew. So we're excited about that. And I'm really excited. I just got announced a couple weeks back that I'm going to be the finishing / co-director on Terror Tunes 4, working alongside producers Joe Castro and Steven Escobar. And Terror Tunes 1 was one of my favorite films growing up. And so 3 films later, working on part 4, 20 years later, it's kind of mind-blowing that I'm going to come in and help them finish out directing that. And I'm so excited about that. So I got that early 2021. I got a couple of other small projects that I'm working on here and there, but that's what I'm really looking forward to this year. So Vera's in the film festival circuit, Appetite for Sin, first half filming this year, and then early next year we got Terror Tunes going on. So got some really cool things coming up.
Wonderful! Can't wait to see. And what are you up to this Hallows Eve?
the way that I'm celebrating Halloween this year is just, keeping it simple, keeping it indoors safely. Just watch some horror movies, maybe eat some pumpkin pie. Um, yeah, just stay indoors. Like I said, I have a production that I'm filming in a couple weeks, so I've been really busy. Quarantine has actually helped me focus. It's keeping me indoors, keeping me at my desk because I can't really go out and do anything else. So I've been working a lot on that. So, and also just trying to quarantine myself to make sure that I stay safe and healthy. So just staying indoors and watching horror movies, and that's really what Halloween's really about anyway, right? Just hanging out, watching some of your favorite horror films. I know us horror fans, Halloween is every day, every year. So the only thing that's different is that there's just extra decoration hanging around. So just keeping it low key this year and prepping for Appetite for Sin in a couple weeks.
Sounds like fun. Thanks for being on the show, Matthew. Stay safe and have a very bad evening.
Well, again, thank you so much for giving me a platform to talk about my films and things that I have coming up. Please, please, please check out Appetite for Sin on Facebook and Instagram. Our handle is just Appetite for Sin. And then check out Terror Tunes as well. Terror Tunes Part 4. We got our Indiegogo going on right now. You can find it at the Terror Tunes 4 Facebook page. There's also a Facebook page for Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you go to any of those pages, you can find the link to that. We got another 30 days or so on that. So if you can come help us out, we got some great perks. You're not going to be disappointed in that film. There's some great talent on there. If you go to the page, you can see who's involved, and you're not going to be disappointed, I promise.
Well, Fringies, the time has come for me to make the dreadful sojourn to the world that lies up there, beyond the slimiest of walls. Until then, Seymour here, wishing you and yours a very unhappy Halloween and a very bad evening.